I don't really have a question. I just want to say thank you. On Christmas night, I had a heart attack, and one of the things the doctor said to me is it relates to the 2 double cheeseburgers and the small fry I was pounding down every day for lunch. And a friend of mine gave me your book, and I'm still heavy and overweight, but I've lost 19 pounds, my cholesterol is down, and my weight's down. So I enjoyed your book so much, I bought the second one, the Reefer Madness, which I haven't read, but I just wanted to say thank you.
We have a federal farm policy, the Farm Bill is coming up soon, that gives enormous subsidies to producers who produce food that we shouldn't be eating too much of. And we provide almost no subsidy whatsoever to fruit and vegetable growers or to organic agriculture. Agribusiness receives billions of dollars of taxpayer money, and the kind of farmers who are producing things the right way don't. The price of organic is already coming down, and we need to really strongly support organic and sustainable agriculture and fruit and vegetable production. We need to, for example, in the schools, be creating relationships between farmers and schools and bringing more fresh produce into the schools and educating kids about nutrition. There's a lot more that we can do. But having said all that, Americans spend a lower proportion of their income on food than any other people in history. It's like 9 or 10% of our income. And if you're really poor, hey, you got to eat what you can afford, and that's the way it is. But if you have any, choice in how you spend your money, I would say that what you put in your mouth and what you put in your kid's mouth that becomes part of their body, that plays a large role in determining whether you will live long or die young, that's worth spending a little extra money on. So many of the things that people are obsessed with, that have designer labels or that, are status involved, are just disposable and go out of fashion, whereas food is a purchase of fundamental importance. Now, if there's anything I would urge you guys to spend a little more money on, it's your meat and dairy products. Because the problems with meat and dairy products can be huge. And if you just saw how these animals in these industrial operations are treated, you wouldn't want to be connected to it on an ethical level, but on a visceral level, you wouldn't want to eat it. It's just wrong. So anyway, yeah.
About the organic food industry, you have done an awful lot of research in the fast food industry. Have you done a lot of research also into the organic food industry, and can we trust that too? Because I feel like I get cynical about everything having to do with food these days, and I'd like to be able to trust something.
Michael Pollan has a book, The Omnivore's Dilemma, which really looks at the organic industry and the industrialization of organic food. And there's another book that came out this past year called Organics, Inc., Organics Incorporated, that looks at this. Can you trust it? If it was grown in the United States and it says organic, probably is. If it was grown overseas and it says organic, depends where it was grown. New Zealand, probably yes. China? I don't know. And a lot of our organic produce is coming from China now. And if you look at their labor standards and how they treat workers in factories, and you look at their environmental standards, it makes you wonder a little bit about the organic standards. But it's definitely, again, all these things are really worth educating yourself and informing yourself about, so that you can make an informed decision. Yeah. No, the fast food industry and the meatpacking industry have been really critical of me, and really personally critical. And they've spread all kinds of misinformation and disinformation about me. They've put up nasty stuff on the internet. They've paid people to show up and protest when I speak. They've contacted schools and tried to prevent me from appearing in schools because I'm a dangerous influence on children. And they've said really nasty things about me. But they haven't sued me. And they sued a number of their other critics. And when the Greenpeace activists in England criticized McDonald's, not only were they sued, but McDonald's spied on them. And sometimes at the Greenpeace meetings in London, there were more McDonald's corporate spies than there were Greenpeace activists. And one of those corporate spies from McDonald's slept with one of the Greenpeace activists for months while obtaining information on it. And that has not happened to me. I was also really careful. I mean, when I was finished with my book, I hired a fact checker from the New Yorker to go through every sentence in the book, literally every sentence in that book, and it was his job to challenge it as though he were a meatpacking or a fast food executive. And then I hired at my own expense my own libel attorney, who I had to pay a huge amount of money to read my book, and this was my first book, and that just seemed wrong. And then the publisher had their libel attorney, and the book has so many footnotes, so the book is essentially transparent. If you don't believe me, you can look it up, or if you disagree with me or you want to sue me, you can look it up. So I don't think they had a basis to sue me, and I don't know that they spied on me. And when you think about it, it's not like I'm trying to steal nuclear secrets and give them to another country. I just criticized the company that makes hamburgers. And they spend $3 billion a year, every year, on advertising and marketing. And my book was a bestseller, but we didn't have an ad budget like that. So to me, their personal attacks, just come out of this mentality, which is all about conformity and, control. They have trouble dealing with a different point of view. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd like you to comment on kind of the state of investigative journalism in the United States, especially at the local level.
Well, I think that there is some really great investigative journalism going on right now. And basically, we have a return to muckraking because there is so much muck. I mean, I honestly believe, and again, my background is American history, I think that there is more corruption in government and in business right now than there has been probably since Warren G. Harding in the early 1920s. Unfortunately, there aren't the same sort of popular magazines devoted to muckraking and investigative reporting like there used to be. And as the media has become more and more concentrated in fewer and fewer hands, it's not like a conspiracy that they're trying to prevent this kind of investigative reporting. It's just a risk. It's much riskier. It's much more expensive. Good investigative reporting takes months and months to do. Sometimes you wind up with nothing. It's just a lot easier to print pictures of Paris Hilton or Brittany with a razor. So there's been fantastic reporting on Iraq, on how we went to war. I think the New York Times and the Washington Post are still really supporting investigative journalists.